What's up, people? I am back for another video. I am here to review Lake Placid. I watched it last night, and since we're continuing with the theme of killer animal movies, I'm gonna figure out another one to review after this one. But Lake Placid, this is a fun one. This one came out in '99. You had Bill Pullman. This is a few years after he did Independence Day, and you had he was like probably the biggest name. You had Bridget Fonda as Kelly. She was decent. She was a likable character. A lot of likable characters in this. You had Hector, played by Oliver Platt. Betty White was the old lady in the movie. Like, surprisingly, when I rewatched it, the biggest thing I noticed, not a lot of kills. Like, at least on screen. Not a lot of on-screen kills. Like, there's a few. Like, there's one in the beginning. There's one close to the end. Like, you see a dude's head get chomped in. So the kills you do see are really good. I think there's one more after that, if I'm not mistaken. And then an interesting ending. You can clearly tell a lot of Jaws inspiration, even the opening of the film. Kind of as like you start in the water, and the score is okay. It's not amazing, but it's a fun '90s film. It's like kind of like what I said about Deep Blue Sea and Anaconda. I'm gonna say about this movie. Just a fun killer animal fucking film. So, cheers. So, the film opens. We meet Hank, who's the sheriff of this town in Maine. Another good thing. There's gonna be a few good things, a lot of good things I'm gonna say about this movie. I think they really did a good job of, even though you're not in the town much, they really do a good job of portraying like you're in a small town, especially because that switch, which happens here in a second. So we have um, Hank, who is with the sheriff. The sheriff is Hank, and he's with scuba diver. He goes scuba diving. He gets killed. This is a cool opening. He starts swimming. The crocodile, grabs his leg, basically bites it off. Like, you see its mouth for a little bit. Unless you saw the poster, some people wouldn't even know it was a crocodile in the beginning. So yeah, he ends up pulling Hank. Hank ends up pulling the diver out, but the diver's bottom half's gone. And I think they did a really good job. And there's a lot of use of practical effects. Like they did build a croc. Like, I don't know if there's a behind the scenes thing, but if there is, they do talk about that, and I've seen pictures. So that's kind of cool, because it was like post Jurassic Park, post Anaconda, and so then we switch over to New York. This is where we're introduced to Kelly, who she's a paleontologist who works for her boss's name is like Kevin, but it turns out he's having an affair with somebody else. But she gets sent to Maine because they found a tooth on the body. So she gets sent there. Basically, they're sending her to get rid of her for a little bit. So they send her away. She get introduced. This is where we're introduced to Bill Pullman's character named Jack, and basically they kind of go around and investigate what's doing. Like, they don't know. I think they do a good job of that. That's another thing you could clearly they do, like, by being like Jaws, is they try to have interesting characters to drive the film, because you don't see the crocodile a lot. Like, you see it a little bit, but in like the first, I would say 30-40 minutes, you don't see it really. This is where we're introduced to Betty White's character. Her name is Dolores. She clearly knows what's doing the killings, but she's not saying what it is, so she basically lies. There's some people who are killed off screen, but they just don't show a lot of it. Then so This is where we're introduced to Hector, who's a crocodile enthusiast, and basically throughout the film they have to see like what what what's going on with the croc, and then they go investigate. The croc flips over a boat, and throughout the film no one sees what's going on, which is I like. It's cool. Like they're actually trying to tell a story because they could have gone full on. Let's have the croc a lot, which I do wish it had a bit more of it, but I still think it's an entertaining film. It's paced well. I mean, and it gradually steps up. Like, there's a scene when one of the officers gets his head bitten off, but unfortunately, again, nobody saw, and it's crazy. Like, it was actually pretty. Even though some of the CGI was a bit iffy at times, that was a pretty good scene. Just gets his head bitten, and Hector's like, he's clearly like the comedy of the film. Like he's kind of joking around, and he's like he almost like worships crocodiles. Um, and then throughout the film, another thing that happens is fishing game don't believe him because they don't know what's going on. So Hector and Hank get into a bit of an argument when they get back on land. Because I think what Hector was trying to do was with another deputy. They were in a helicopter and they were trying to. He was basically in the water with the crocodile, and they got mad at him, basically trying to get them killed. And Hector and him fight. They trip. Then a bear randomly shows up, and I'll admit this is a well executed scene. The bear's like roaring at them, and then the fucking crocodile just grabs him. Like again, the CGI does look iffy. Like you could tell it's clearly CGI, but it's still a well executed scene. It kind of reminded me of like the scene in Anaconda where the anaconda killed like a leopard, or it was a panther. Yeah, like they want to show how deadly this creature is. Let's have it kill another predator. You know. And it was still a dope scene. It did what it was supposed to do. So now this is where now everyone, and because Hank initially doesn't believe that a crocodile is in Maine, and it makes sense why he has his doubts. But then after seeing that, so then they basically have to figure out what they're gonna do with it. Then the next day they see Betty White's character. I think her name's Dolores. They see her feeding the crocodile, and this is where the truth comes out that she's been feeding the crocodile for years, and that she didn't want to tell them because she didn't want it to get killed. So she basically was just feeding it. And it's pretty crazy. And the fucked up thing is she's such a likable character where it's like you want to be like, bitch, you're a fucking idiot. What do you do? But it's also like, oh, god damn it. Sorry, flies, man. It's summer. But yeah, like the character's like probably the best part. You have this Kelly character who, she starts off very much like she's a city girl going to like a more rural area, so it makes sense, like that she's gonna start off like, oh, ew, tense, but she actually starts growing. You know what? Because this is back when Hollywood can let females grow, and she's a big part of the movie. And she doesn't throw a punch. She doesn't have to be the strongest. And you have Bill Pullman, he's such a charismatic actor. Anything I've seen him in, obviously Independence Day, but in this movie, he's very charismatic, and he's just a fish and game guy. He's not like some military dude. He's just, so I think he's such a good actor. He's just such a charismatic dude. So, and I think Hank, a lot of the characters were serviceable. You had funny moments. So they put her on house arrest. And this is where Hector insists that they shouldn't kill the crocodile. That they should, he wants to basically trank it and take it somewhere and contain it. He doesn't want to kill it. And he tries to, he basically convinces them, no, we're going to try this plan. So now the plan is that they're going to lure the crocodile and try to trank it. So initially, things kind of go wrong. It ends up almost destroying the helicopter. it gets on the land, starts attacking people. And I'm trying to remember. I don't think it does kill anybody. Yeah, I don't think we see it kill like a cow and then a bear. Like I think that's it. It's interesting. That's kind of crazy that they were able to get away with that because I bet you people would have been like, even by '99, they would have been like, where's the fucking kills? There is a sequel, which is like very much goes more like the B movie. I remember watching it. It was okay. It very much was a much lower budget. It was like a sci-fi type deal. But like yeah, but this was a fun action sequence with the alligator, the crocodile, sorry. And we got a really some scene parts of it where it's on land. It doesn't look horrible. Some shots it does, but it very much was fun. It ends up chasing Kelly into the water, and her foot ends up getting stuck on some of the crocodile, knocks her out, and she's able to get free. And then the alligator attacks the helicopter, but it gets stuck. And throughout the film, Hank has this like big, almost like RPG, pseudo RPG kind of launcher thing that was, it's like foreshadowing, but I think they do a good job because it very much is like the anti Jaws ending because we know how Jaws ended, and I bet you most people thought that's how it was gonna end. Oh, they're gonna blow it up because they're setting it up, and then another alligator crocodile does show up, but that one gets blown up. So we do see a crocodile get blown up, but then they decide to trank it one more time, and then it gets taken. And then clearly throughout the film, Jack and Kelly they hint at a relationship. They don't kiss or anything, but they like set it up that it's going that direction. And then we see Dolores feeding baby gators, which so in a way I guess they're maybe kind of open for a sequel. I'm surprised it took so long though. But yeah, this is an awesome film. It's great pacing. Even though not a lot of I keep saying alligator, crocodile action, it's still a really well done movie. See, I'm gonna shit on Godzilla 2014 randomly because this is another example. When if you're not gonna have a lot of the creature, at least make up for it. I don't think these characters are amazing. I think Bill Pullman is probably my favorite character of the movie, but I think everyone was serviceable. Not one character did I find boring or I was annoyed to follow. I actually liked all these characters. So it was compelling enough to be like, okay, if you're not gonna have a lot of the croc, and it makes it, they clearly are trying to be Jaws, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. Like they were trying to like, we're gonna have a little bit more story. We're not gonna just have it be the croc just killing everybody. You know, I'm shocked it didn't go. I thought I remember it being like that because I hadn't watched this film in like 7, 8 years. It's been a long ass time since I watched this movie. I didn't remember that not that many people died, and the scenes that you do see deaths are pretty brutal. Like dude getting his face bit in was pretty brutal. Like, and I thought the croc looked good largely, and they definitely show it a lot more in the end. And the scene where it kills the bear was pretty dope. Showcase how dangerous it is, and I like the almost anti-Jaws ending where they don't kill it. At least the main one. They blow one up, but it was a random one. They don't blow up the main one that's been doing the damage. And though what they play in the credits is interesting. They play like a Bob Marley song. That threw me off. And don't get me wrong, I love Bob Marley. I was just like, okay, Bob Marley, okay. But yeah, largely great film. I really love it. It's not incredible. Obviously, it's not Jaws, but I liked that it tried to do its own thing. I think the crocodile looked good. I liked the setting. A thing I was thinking about earlier when I was watching it, I like the scenes when they're in the lake because, ocean's a lot more clear compared to a lake. And it's not all the time, but comparatively, yeah. Lakes are super murky. I do wish we had a bit more night stalking scene. That's the only thing. But I overall love this movie. It was a fun ride. It did what it's supposed to do. You had decent characters who kept you, captivated to like, oh, I'm not bored or I need to see the Croc. To like, you actually had fun characters, and I'm surprised they were able to get a. They actually did it, like, because did I want some more crocodile scenes? Because yeah, I'm a gore guy. I love seeing gore, so. But you know what? They made the story compelling enough to where I didn't need that, and I didn't need to see a lot of the Croc. So yeah, out of 10, like a 9. I give this film out of 10, a 9 out of 10. I fucking like this film. I think it just needed a stronger score. And that's it. That's like my probably my only criticism, honestly. If you're gonna try to beat Jaws, that's the one thing. Jaws had that like that music. It just needed that. But besides that, I overall love this movie. So fucking Bill Pullman, man. He's the fucking man. So cheers. Cheers to this movie too. But other than that, as usual, tomorrow I will be doing my two videos tomorrow. One, I'll be bands I love. We'll be talking about Foreigner. And then I will be doing a breakdown and rant of why I don't like Civil War, Captain America, Avengers Civil War. It's not a Captain America movie. I'm gonna go into why I don't like it. So I'm not gonna watch. I can't watch it again, but I will like try to do like. And as much as I don't like this motherfucker, sorry if you're hearing sounds. As much as I don't like this motherfucker, CinemaSins, if he, um, I'll watch a condensed version of the movie again to get reacquainted because it's been like 2 years since I've watched it, or a year, and I don't remember a lot of things. I remember the really bad shit. It's almost because I need to do a breakdown of why I don't like that film. Then on Thursday, I will be doing a fixing on it, but that's tomorrow. But other than that, fuck Warner Brothers, fuck Disney, fuck bitch ass LeBron, fuck bitch ass James Mangold, and fuck Kevin Smith. Talk to y'all tomorrow.